Enterprise TV, reaching you live from the heart of Lagos. I am Kende Bodering.
And I am Henry Ibibike.
Alright, so it's another beautiful day to stay informed and inspired. And today we'll be taking our newspaper review, and after that we'll move right straight to the main conversation for the day. So you can equally join us by reaching us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. So Henry, before that we have our ever-present guest, Barrister Evans Ufeli. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Thank you so very much for your time. All right, so let's kickstart today, interestingly, with the first daily on our desk. It's coming from the Guardian newspapers. And the big story, toxic breeds, cancer, fertility risks trail Nigeria's $429 million synthetic hair obsession.
Wow. We also have ruling behavior, NCAA blacklist IND petitions for criminal charges.
Yes, and also on the bottom strip we have 300 repentant terrorists undergoing rehabilitation, says the federal government.
We also have over 83 million Nigerians live on less than 3,100 naira daily, Oxfam reviews.
Yes, and also on the bottom strip, ADC knocks the PDP over moves to Obi, claims the party has lost influence. That is the PDP they are referring to. Barrister, let's take a look at the trendiest issue happening around Nigeria. It is from the entertainer, Kwam1, unruly behavior, NCAA blacklist IND petition for criminal charges. Your take on this, please?
Yeah, it is required that such kind of unruly behavior should not go unpunished. I mean, if you look at the conduct of the musician, it's not befitting of someone, a father, you know, a husband, a brother to several persons. So his conduct was unfortunate because at age 68, you should have seen it all. You should have known that there's nothing in this life. You should be the one to be telling people, youths, don't go and stand on the front of a jet. It's not proper. It's not the proper behavior. So, but when you now find a 68-year-old man standing before and, you know, giving us that kind of output, it reduces everything he has worked all through his life. That's the truth. Now, not many things can he be called upon to come and do. People are digging into his profile now. You know, dragging whether there are companies that he's a director or anything that is dragging all he put his hands on. And all those people will start to ease him off very soon. That is how people destroy themselves. You cannot work this hard and then just because you know the president or you know one or two persons in politics does not now mean that every other person don't matter. The number of lives on the jet, the number of people on the crew, the security men are known that all would have been crushed. Okay? And also to the pilot, I think it's very unruly too for her to have moved that, because two wrongs cannot make a right.
So what would she have done? She would have kept it.
What she would have done is, given the number of people in that aircraft, even her own life and safety, she need to pause that aircraft, okay, and allow for security to come up, because definitely they will take, he cannot stand there with the plane for too long before the security apparatus and all that will come to take him away. Because actually the police security, mobile police security, don't stay in the hangar. Okay. They actually stay in the departure lounge or in the arrival lounge. So it will actually take time
to get them over.
Yeah, before you bring them, yes. And even the police station in the airport is across the road. Do you understand? So it's going to take some time before the attention of the police, you know, because you need to report to the police. So it's just going to be a matter of time they will actually arrest him. But moving the aircraft on the heat of passion could have resulted to anything. Yes, he could have lost it too and all that. So on both sides, I blame both sides. And to say that the whole world is looking at this, aviation authority all over the world may begin to see us as a security risks, flight risk country. We're going to add that to the layers of a problem we're already having with the entire world. And it's not befitting. Children all saw that. People were watching all over the world. And the world is a global village now. So I think we can minimize the level of shame and disgrace we have for this country. We should pity this country. We should have mercy on Nigeria with our behavior. This country is finished already. Economically, it's gone. Politically, we don't know where we stand. In the international community, we don't even have ambassadors in other countries. So what exactly is it that they can choose us for? We just won the COP, the female this and that. Instead of us to consolidate on that positivity now, somebody standing in front of aircraft. Yeah? What nonsense is this? When will this country change? Or when are we going to have what it takes really to stay positive for a whole year so that we can celebrate it? So this to me is unfortunate, very unfortunate. And I do not think that we should continue in this line. People who are in positions of responsibilities should be able to hold themselves to high esteem, no matter the level of provocation. They should be able to do that at all times. That's the only way we can be elevated. That's the only way we can even advise the younger generation. If it were a Gen Z that was standing in front of that aircraft, I'll begin to understand. Perhaps he has not seen, he doesn't know the implication. But not at this level. This is very, very wrong. All shades of wrong.
Very true.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. When you were explaining, you talked about his career, that because of this situation, people are saying, diving into his career. So let's just from this, from the legal aspect, what's your perceptive, or what do you think about his career due to this situation that happened? How will people even perceive it, even if they dive into, his music career and all of that? So what can you bring out from their own perspective?
The art serves the public. What is music? In your music, you are talking about life.
Yes.
You are advising people. You are playing. You are entertaining them. You are educating them. And a musician is like a teacher. You understand? Yes. From your life experience, from people's life experience, that's from where you compose your music.
True.
Whatever message you have for the world, you compose it from life experiences and the rest of that. And then when people listen to you and they feel that, yes, you are making sense, you are inspiring them, you should leave it at that. Because when you now begin to act in a way that is, by the way, this is even a criminal offense. You understand? I wrote an article about this yesterday, which is circulating. If you look at the criminal code, yes, the criminal code is an offense under the criminal code, wherein you unlawfully obstruct, the moving of an aircraft under an airdrome, and whatever you do, directly or indirectly, to obstruct it, it's an offense. And the penalty for that offense is 2 years imprisonment, with option of fine and both. So, if he is prosecuted, he stands the risk of going in for that penalty. Okay, if the court so found him guilty of the act itself. So I do not think that is the kind of thing he will want for himself at that age. He has children. The daughter came out yesterday to say that the father wasn't drinking alcohol, it was water. Is that what I want my daughter to be doing at that age? To come out on the internet and be defending me that what I'm carrying is not water, it's alcohol, not water, it's alcohol. Yeah, putting that girl under tension. It's putting his family under tension. And I don't think that's good enough. If they ever want to charge him, I've not heard anything about charge. All I have seen is a ban, which is like a sanction.
Yes.
You understand? But if the state want to proceed to prosecute him, he stands the risk of going to jail. Okay. And all he has worked for the past 68 years will be up in flames. It's not good. It's not good.
Very lamentable, really. And just like Barrister did say, Kwambon has been banned from flying for 6 months by the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, whilst Captain Oluranti Ogoye and co-pilot First Officer Ivan Oloba have been suspended immediately. Well, it's an ongoing probe, and we hope that this will resolve well, and most importantly, that our airspace will be safe, most definitely. But Barrister, let's take a look at other matters coming from the Guardian newspaper. Also, we have the big issue here: cancer facility risk trails in Nigeria's $429 million synthetic hair obsession. Barrister, if you've gone to any of the industries where this synthetic hair is produced, especially the one along Agege, there's one along Agege,
Yes.
right there.
There's one in Ojodu here.
Yes, exactly. You know, after every day's work, you need to see the mammoth crowd coming out from such industry.
Yes.
You know, and one would wonder, do you think whoever it is that did this reportage didn't do a very good job in knowing all of, because this would have an effect not just on people who are obsessed with synthetic hair, but equally on the industry, because it is not scientifically proven that there's a connection between synthetic hair and cancer and fertility.
Well, is there any survey, is there any scientific or medical reference?
Well, there's no scientific reference, but just before I got, you know, talking or did a talk on this particular stuff, of course, ChatGPT seems to be the only place you can readily go get some information, and I have it here. There's no strong scientific evidence that synthetic hair directly causes cancer or fertility problem. However, they said toxic chemicals, some low-quality synthetic hair products may contain chemicals like formaldehyde, which have been linked to health issues when exposure is frequent or prolonged.
Well, maybe that is from the angle he's writing from.
Okay.
Yes.
It's writing from the narrow, because from that, what we have read now, there's an allowance given for there's a window where you can stand to criticize synthetic hair. That's exactly what that guy is doing. Yeah, but I think a report like this that's going out to the entire public ought not to just be superficial. It should be able to reference a reputable scientific institutions, you understand, that have done findings and that have come up with, you know, reports to the fact that they have carried out empirical scientific research, and it points to this direction and it points to this direction, so that it becomes the news itself will become consumables, and it will be the right consumables, because a lot of persons are also writing for several interests, okay, for a lot of interests. You know, you see how some, that's what they call industrial war.
Okay.
Yes, that's what they call industrial war. A company that have interests in something, where another company have interest in this, we employ the services of journalists to write against. There's even competition, even in the same field. You understand? People can cook up, even in pharmaceuticals, they do it. You know, just to make sure that you deride the other company. So we don't know the intention of this. We don't know who's pushing this story. We don't know whether it's altruistic to save society, or whether there are undercurrent interests that is pushing this. We don't know exactly what it is. You understand? So, but if anything is not scientifically proven, and you cannot link, you know, cause and effect to something, I don't think spreading it is the right thing to do. If you, except you're able to link the whole thing, the organisms he talked about, the chemicals he talked about, the exposure and the rest of that. If you can truly link it scientifically to cancer and all that, then it is wise for the purpose of public health to make that information known to the public.
All right. What other story do we have from the Guardian newspaper? There are lots of interesting stories here.
From the Guardian, we have. Okay, we still have WAEC records results, directs candidates to check afresh. So, because when I think there was a story early this week, this woman, she came out and she was shouting. She was like, WAEC, you guys have done it again. Why do we have mass failure this time around? What could have gone wrong? After those children going to, you know, to write the exam, and they spent the whole day. Some students even came home at night. In fact, I think the exam was even done at night, according to report. So Barrister, so what can you say about this particular story? WAEC recalls results, direct candidate to check afresh. Does
You know, when they wrote that WAEC and the news broke out early this year, when they were using a candle and lantern to write the exam in the night and all that, I saw the story and I quickly swung into action. Called my lawyers together. We looked at the case, we looked at the law, and we looked at everything. And we discovered that the children have a case. You understand?
okay?
So we went to court. We went to the Federal High Court. The case is still pending. Parents have been calling me, students and all that. Now, when we went to, what are our prayers in court? We are asking the federal government to look into what WAEC has done in the conduct of the 2025 WAEC exam, and to set it aside, because on the day of English language and one other day, papers didn't get to the students early enough. They had to write into the night and use candles, and the photograph is all over. And it's a violation of their fundamental rights. When you look at the Child Rights Act, when you look at the Constitution, these children have a right to education. These children that you are supposed to write exam in the midnight, when would they get home? Under this intense insecurity and the rest of that. So the trauma and the violation of their rights must be redressed. And when we wrote to WAEC, they did not respond. So we had to go to court. They filed their defense, by the way. The Ministry of Education have filed their defense. And in their defense, I don't want to go into the merit of the case because it's before the court.
Yes.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that if they had listened to us at that time, okay, and then set that exam aside and set a fresh one, they would have averted this. Because it happened during my set. When we were to write, I think, was it a GC or WAEC? No, I can't remember. They are both WAEC, but one is private, one is general. I remember there was a paper that leaked, and because it leaked, the exam was called off that day. They had to, fix another date for that same exam and change the question papers. You understand? So when we call that, why would you expose children to this kind of operations? I mean, they were all over the television station, the media and all that. Set it aside, they didn't listen. Now look at the outcome. You are expecting a different outcome when your input is wrong. Your input will determine your outcome. There will be mass failure as long as the test for that exam is to test students' preparedness, to test their intellectual quotient, to test their ability to respond to question and to prepare them for tertiary institution. Is that not the reason? But when you are writing that exam in the night, you are not testing their intelligence. You are not testing their capacity, intellectual quotient or intellection. What you are doing is you are testing their ability to withstand fear, trials and tribulation. You are testing their ability to work under intense pressure at that age. Many of them who wrote that exam are about 15, 16, 14 years old. That wrote that exam from 14 to 16 years. And the ones that wrote that exams. You know, at 16 and 15 and 14, you have not, the scientists have proven that until you are 26, your brain is not fully developed. Even when you are a copper, even when you are graduated, you are not up to 26, your brain is not fully developed. Let alone children who are 14, 15, 16, you put them under such kind of pressure, intense pressure, then you now expect them to come out with flying colors. How is it going to work? So we must see, for us to build a formidable generation in the future that will take this country to the next level, it starts from the children we're treating, how we're treating them now, and how we're exposing them to the things of life. That will determine how they will see life. You understand? Because if you don't give them the right kind of perspective, you don't give them the right kind of, they will not be able to lead. You understand? Look at the Holy Writ, for example. You see these Israelites that were to move to the promised land. There's a reason God didn't choose any of them who had gone through all those suffering. God had to choose Moses, who had been in the palace, who was born in the palace, who cannot take nonsense, who will see an Israeli and an Egyptian fighter and it will take the life of the, someone who is an activist, born, not born in the palace, but by providence, raised in the palace. It takes someone with a strong formative years to pull people out of nonsense. I'm telling you. You see, because the scientists again have established that between 0 to 12 is the formative years of a child. And whatever you are not able to teach a child to imbibe between 0 to 12, forget about it. If you don't teach him good morals between 0 to 12, if you don't teach him the direction between 0 to 12, 0 to 7, 7 to 12, if you don't teach him the right kind of thing, if you like, take him to a mountain, take olive oil, 1 gallon, put on his head, and anoint him, he will never turn out the right way because at that formative, that is where the child learns by observation. It starts by deep observation. It's sucking everything he's seeing. By the time he's 12, he's already formed. Then his brain gets developed fully at 26. Then whatever it is that has gone through him within that time is what will define the next phase of his life. Okay? Yes, so if we understand that as a country, we will not subject our children to study under that kind of condition, or to write exams under that kind of condition, or to put on lantern and be reading passages. The English come with 2 comprehension passages, and 1 letter writing or essay writing. So there's a lot of writing to be done in the English language. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of thoughts that you have to put into that exam for you to be able to score even a C5. So when you are not doing it in the night with candle, what are you going to score? Is it not obvious that this thing is not working? So I don't even know what they're talking about. Okay, they had to go and rework on the result, and they want to look through. So the same thing happened to JAM.
Yes.
The same thing happened to JAM when we went to court too. The 2 cases are in court. And we're asking for the fundamental right enforcement. You see, we have to do this. If we don't, by next year, maybe they'll take the children to go and ride the Zanzibar River or the mountain. So we cannot afford to allow them to mess up the next generation. Because this generation is already a failed one. You understand? It's a failed one already. So why should we now allow the next generation to fall into the same trap that has held us bound this way? This is the generation that is embracing IT, that's embracing artificial intelligence. You understand? This is the generation that knows no tribe, okay, that knows no Gentile or Jews. You understand? This is the generation that the prophecy in the Holy Writ talked about. So if you don't allow them to have the requisite knowledge that they will use to define the future, so where are you going to leave them? When the world will be at a very fast pace, they will be trying to catch up.
Very sad, really. And from the Vanguard newspaper, we have it that the WAEC has apologized over the technical glitch, and of course asking for the recall of that paper, and asking the candidates to go and refresh their sites to see if anything can come up from there. And it's so sad, really, that all of this is happening just in Nigeria. Ghana equally writing the same exams, but not seeing the same, sad situation that we have going on in Nigeria. But Barrister, let's take a look at this last story just before we call it a day for this segment. Heavy floods to hit 198 local government areas in 31 state federal government wants. But I love us to, if possible, narrow it to Lagos State. Amongst the local governments affected in Lagos is Lekki Access, some part of Ikorodu.
That's a Tiosa local government.
Yeah, Tiosa, yes, exactly. Ikorodu, Ajegule, and some other places. Yeah. But particularly, I'd love you to take on this submission by one Mahmoud Adegbeti. He's the permanent secretary to the water resources, who said that anyone sinking boreholes in the Lekki axis is drinking the number 2's water. Yeah. And one would ask, why would the government official be so derogatory in his submission? Isn't it the responsibility of the government to provide potable water?
Yes, it's possible, but it's the truth he's saying now. You are drinking shit water if you are drinking because the Lekki water is not good. I mean, you can't even, some people use it to cook, you can imagine. So when they start to develop this kind of ailment that don't have remedy, you now, because it's good that the man is saying it the way it is. I like that, those kind of leaders. Yes, that is what you are doing.
But even if it's offensive to Lagos state government,
it is. Yeah, well, it's offensive. I know it's offensive. It's government responsibility to provide potable water. Really, it's indicting the state government. And yes, because he may think that he's scaring people or that, but he's indicting the state government. And I like the confusion in his head, because the confusion will force them to do something. I mean, those in the Lekki axis, they need not put up or dig boreholes, because I mean, it's of no use in the first place. The iron, the rust and all that is too much. It's too much of I don't know what they call it scientifically, but the water is not, it's polluted.
Yes.
You understand? Even when you find it is salty, even when you so it's not potable water. It's not meant for consumption. So the state government, before now, they used to have water board.
Yes.
When we were growing in the early 80s, we don't know of when. It's not long ago, because some of you were born into this borehole thing. Let me just tell you, in this country, borehole is a new. It's very strange, especially to the X generation. To my generation, we don't know what they call borehole. Well, later we saw it. At that time, you go to the tap, you open the tap, and water will be running. Then, when we close from school, I remember we wash our hands, we drink from the...
Very sweet water.
Yes. And it's coming from water board. Yes. You understand? I remember then in Kaduna, that's how we know about water. That's how we know about water. Well, later on, we just discovered that people will dig this in water will be coming from the ground. Well, so this is possible. You understand? But some persons were born into the borehole thing. And they think that that's how it has always been. No, that's not how it has always been. So there's a need to go back to that borehole thing. Water board. Yes, because it was a viable institution. Employs a lot of people.
Very well.
So many, just like the railway in those days, employ a lot of people. So Lagos is a special state. Those people there in the Lekki axis cannot afford to continue to do what they are doing. Most especially because there's also the risk of flooding, and that there's a prediction somewhere. I don't want to scare people. It's online that place may cave in sometimes in the future. So there's a need to preserve the ecosystem. That's the only thing you have. And population is increasing every day. Yes. Population is increasing by geometric progression. That's what they say, Abi. And then our economy is growing by arithmetic progression. You understand? So the Lagos state government, just that this particular Sanwo-Olu's government, I don't know what the man is doing. I don't really know what he's doing, because the government before this one really did a lot to even fight flood using environmental trees and all that. I mean, this one, when it rains in Lekki, once it rains like 1 hour 30 minutes, the whole place is flooded. Yes. In 2009, when it rained 16 hours non-stop, water carried people to different places. People died and all that. So there's a need to I hope this same man who is saying this thing have a proposal before this government as a solution. Yeah, because not enough to just say that you are drinking shit water. You need to present a proposal before the government as to how this problem can be solved. It is not a problem that cannot be solved. How many people are we in Lagos? There are over 20. It's not everybody that have that water problem issue.
Yes.
Okay, so for the number of areas that have that issue, they can actually address the problem.
Very true. And this very simple technology will reverse osmosis. You know, we can get the best water, even from the most dirtiest water.
Yes.
And one would wonder why government making internally generated revenue in Lagos today stands at 1.5 trillion naira. And one would wonder why is the Lagos State government finding it very difficult to provide potable, clean water for its people. It's a developing story, and right here on Enterprise Television, we promise to bring it to you. Barrister will still be here to take us on our main conversation when we return. Sowore brutalized hidden in underground cell. Lawyer alleges a police abuse. That in a bit, still Enterprise morning. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And this is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. And now let's move to our main conversation for today. A lawyer, Tope Temokun, has accused the Nigerian police force of brutalizing political activist and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore after his arrest on Wednesday, according to Temokun. Sowore, who had voluntarily responded to an invitation from the IGP Monitoring Unit, was detained overnight and then violently moved to an undisclosed location in the early hours of Thursday.
Right. During the transfer, he reportedly sustained a serious injury to his right arm and was allegedly exposed to noxious gas while in custody. Temokun described the incident as a calculated attack on Sowore's life and drew comparisons to the detention of late figures like Gani, Fawehinmi and Moshood Abiola.
Yes, and we have it that he claimed the activist had now been placed in an underground cell and warned that any harm to Sowore would be fully accounted for by the Nigerian police force, demanding his unconditional release and a public apology. Temokun condemned the action as a violation of Sowore's human rights.
Okay, so police spokesperson Miwa Adejobi had not responded to inquiries at the time of this report.
All right, very well said. Let's have a conversation right now. Still with us is Barrister Van Sufeli. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for hanging on. Yes, so tell us, this is your catchment area, your area of forte, and one would wonder, someone who voluntarily brings himself to the police and say, here I am, you invited me and I am here. Why would such a person now be detained?
Well, that is what the Nigerian police do all the time, and it's wrong. When you invite a suspect, he comes to you voluntarily. You don't convert an invitation to an arrest. It's wrong. The Nigerian police, they should get into their score because many of them are illiterates. And when we use illiterate to police our society, we'll get chaos. He went there and he's been maltreated, even when the law said that nobody should be tortured. The Constitution is against torture. You understand? No matter the offense committed, the police have no right under our law to torture a citizen. It's a violation of the right, fundamental right of the citizen. Here he was tortured, his arm broken, and then driven to an undisclosed location. Some people ascribe it to be an underground cell somewhere, undisclosed. So that is a gross violation of his right, no matter the level of provocation or the offense you feel he has committed. Because I know he has been talking about the IGP, the emergence of the IGP, and that his tenure has expired, and that his age and all that, he ought not to be the IGP. His stay there is illegal. And all that. You will bring a counter narrative to let the public know that the laws have changed, or there's the reason you state your it's not, it does not call for you to then invite him. You can invite him, but to take him through this horrendous experience is to say the least most unfortunate, because he has not committed any crime or offense that we know of. And if you want to charge him, why don't you show us the charge sheet, what you are charging him for? So his lawyers can respond to the charge accordingly when he's arraigned before the court. You understand? So the police, simple things, they take it out of proportion and then begin to create enmity, you know, with their level of operation. Because right now, this might lead to some actions. Because where actions are reaction, equal action and reaction, you know, great and all that. Yeah, so we can avoid this kind of situation. If our police are professional and if they are doing the right thing, they should know that you do not take the laws into your hand, especially when the Constitution has given you an assignment to protect lives and properties, to make sure that there's peaceful coexistence between people. You should not be the one introducing violence to society. You should be able to live an exemplary life. And that exemplary life is what we expect from the police. Each time they say that the police is your friend, we are confused, because what is the definition of a friend? I mean, a friend is someone who should be there all the time, should be in need and in deed. Okay? But they keep telling us that, but we have not seen the police demonstrate that. We've seen them consistently demonstrate hate, you know, violence at all times, and most times they extort the people, they threaten them, you know, with arms and ammunition and all that, almost robbing the people. So the IGP himself is supposed to be involved in the reformation of the police, carrying out serious reform, because the police is like a damaged institution that needs serious reform. You understand? Many people in the police have no business being there. You understand? So that is what I expect him to do. Use his energy, use his good office to reform the police, rid it off of bad eggs, make the police, a change institution. That's what it's supposed to do. But look at what he's doing. He's using his office to intimidate citizens, you know, to take laws into his hands, you know, act this way. You arrested in barely 24 hours, you have broken his hand.
Well, agreed that the Nigerian police force, of course, we all know needs a total overhaul. But let's take a look at the persona of the man under reference here, Sowore.
Yes.
How much activism is too much activism? Because the reason why he was invited was because of the defamatory submission he made that a particular female police officer was promoted less than 10 years of active service, and she's been promoted subsequently, and that wasn't good enough. And equally alleged so many things tied to the same woman who she said was a little bit involved with the IGP Monitoring. So the question today is, how much activism is too much activism?
Is that defamatory? Until you find out that is false, it's not defamatory. It might be fair comment. Until we find, because defamation is when you make false statements disparaging the person or the person, and you publish it to a third party, and that reduces the reputation of that person in the eyes of the right-thinking members of society. That's
Which is what he did.
No. Is it false? Have you confirmed that the statement is false? If it's true, there's no defamation.
But the police have said it's false. Police have said it's false.
It is not the police that will determine whether it's false or they will have to go to court. It is a court that will determine whether this statement is falsehood or not. You, as a claimant, can allege that this is defamation, but your allegation is not judgment. You understand? So they're supposed to take the civil route to have him sued, okay, and let the court now take a decision. So when you just come and say, I'm not supporting Sowore what he said or what he did, you understand? But I'm saying comments are fair comments when they are true. They are defamation when they are false. The question now is, who determines what is defamation and who determines what is fair comment? It's the court of law. So the IGP cannot take the laws into his hands because he's a policeman. Nobody have that right under the law to take the laws into their hands. You understand? So it is incumbent on him to take the legal route to have his name cleared, or he has to litigate the matter. So, but you know, in Nigeria, impunity, they just feel that since they have gun and there's bullets, and they have rights to just walk around, carry people, arrest them, nobody should be able to talk. So that's why they are doing what they are doing.
Okay, that's a very good one from you, sir. So let's talk about the claims that the lawyer claims Sowore was injured and exposed to noxious gas while in custody. So under Nigerian law, how serious are these allegations?
Yeah, they are a violation of the fundamental right of the citizen, and he should be able to enforce it. When it's out, he can sue the police to enforce his fundamental right. The Constitution says no one should be subjected to any dehumanizing condition. Okay, whether servitude or any kind of situation that reduces the person's dignity. So to that extent, no matter the provocation, what he did is a different thing entirely. The fact that somebody you allege that somebody did this to you is not a license for you to put the person under that condition. There is a legal route you could have. So taking the laws into your hands, it's even an indictment to the police force, because they are supposed to be the ones to dissuade people from taking laws into their hands. Now they are the ones taking laws into their hands. So they are all wrong. They are all wrong. This has nothing to do with activism. For me, I just see it as a case of the violation of the right of a citizen. Because if he has made offensive statements and he has defamed or disparaged anybody, they know exactly what to do. One of which is not to go and arrest him and start to drag him up and down.
Okay.
Even if they want to bring him under criminal defamation, it's for them to file a case for false information. They come and prove it that the information is false. Then the court will decide. So at no point did the law, neither the Constitution or any other subsidiary legislation, empower the police to go around and be intimidating and harassing people because they made statements.
Okay, so what legal steps can be taken to hold the police accountable if they are found guilty of misconduct in this case?
Yes, these lawyers will file a case of fundamental right now to enforce his fundamental right. Then they will ask for his release, they'll ask for his bail, they'll ask for damages. The court will make a pronouncement and all that. They ask that they can apologize and all. The court will take it up from there.
What is the boils down in the court?
All right. While we, of course, talk about that, and I was just trying to go through the world ranking on the police force around the world, and it's very quite interesting. Amongst the best ranking police in the world is Finland, 87%, Norway, 79%, Denmark, 78%, and the list goes on and on. I do not know where Nigeria is.
You notice Do you notice that all those countries are Scandinavian?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So Nigeria is nowhere to be found without this.
But so do you think someday we would at least get there?
We can get
We'll be
there.
on the map.
Yeah, we'll get there. Well, first of all, we'll get there. Take them away from dirty barracks.
Okay.
Eh? Go and beat them. These policemen, beat them, wash their uniform. Send them to school. Many of them are illiterates. Send them to school, then pay them well. Take their children to good schools. Buy cars for them. I mean, police, they don't forbid good life. Buy cars for them. Give them, feed them very well. Wash off these dirty things that sack half of them, lock many in prison. Then recruit new ones, give them a good life. If you give them a good life, they will behave better. They're human beings. Life is acquired taste. Yes, the kind of upbringing you get determines your character.
Yeah, you're right.
If you treat them very well, pay one policeman 1 million naira, they will not be collecting bribe again.
Yeah.
They will become clean. Their children will be in good schools. Their wives will be doing business. They will be driving cars. They will not be trekking and be wearing dirty uniform. Take care of them so that they can behave well. That's the solution. That's the solution. As long as this country have refused to take care of the police, the outcome, they will keep giving us this kind of news every day. And there's no other remedy.
But Barrister, let's take a look at, if possible, maybe go back to yesteryears when, during the military era, we had lots of these issues, just like we had in our reportage. Gani Fawehinmi equally went through the same, manhandling by the Nigerian police and so many other people. When we compare it, juxtapose it, military era and what we have, lots of people have referred what we have as civilian rule. When you compare both, do you think we are becoming really, really not doing it well as compared to what it used to be before?
I didn't get the question.
From the Nigerian police force and how they relate to people, because Gani Fawehinmi went through the same thing.
Yes,
When
the
we
Nigerian
compare it to
police,
have
what
now.
you have as the Nigerian police force was established in 1930 under the colonial rule. The colonial police were the one that actually started this violence and corruption. So what we are doing now is what they bequeathed. When they left in 1958-59, the Nigerian government took over. The Nigerian government had to create the police force because then you don't have Nigeria. You understand? And now the legacies and the hangover of the colonial police is what became the Nigerian police force. Attempts have been made on several locations to do what we call a reform. Okay? But these reforms have not really yielded any good result. Because today you have one IGP who will say all the policemen on the road should leave the road. They should go and protect lives and properties. They should stop extorting people. After 1-2 months, you see all of them on the road. Because the same IGP will be expecting returns from the people who are saying they should not go to the road. Where would they get the money from? Now, they are underfunded. Instead of the federal government to fund the police station properly, they underfund them. Then the DPOs, who don't have any other job, will call the operatives together, ask them to go to the road. From the road, if you don't have driver's license, you are driving, you don't have one thing or the other. Nigerians are always not having one thing or the other. They collect money from you. They make returns to the DPO. Then the DPO now start to use the money to administer. So they rely on the public. They rely on extortion as a way of revenue generation to police and manage their stations. That is why when you get to a police station, you cannot use their toilet. When you get to a position, they say they don't have biro. They say they don't have food capital. They say they don't have, you want to write statement, say, go and give us money to buy biro. Give us money to buy food capital. Give us the kind of things you'll be hearing. You understand? So how do you grow like this? How are you going to grow like this? Most times by choice, I drive from Lagos to Delta on the road. In fact, this last one I went, I had to stop somewhere at Benin. and bought bread worth 24,000.
Really?
Yes.
24,000.
To give to police on the road. As my way of contributing to the suffering is too much. So when I get to every station, of course they don't even disturb me. They don't stop. They only greet and I go. But as a way of contributing to their misfortune, to reduce their misfortune, I had to give bread. And each time you give the bread, you see them jubilating. Yes, you give them something. You're giving them something. So they have been in the sun for 5 hours. They have children. They have family. They have wives. They will be in that sun for the whole day. You see, it's not every time we should criticize the police. And if they put you under the condition they work, if they put you there to work under that condition, would you do anything different from what they are doing? We need to answer that question. I'm not trying to speak for the police, but I'm saying as much as we vilify them, we should show empathy to them. They are doing a lot. You have bad ones among them. You have criminals among them. You have thieves among them. But we cannot all condemn the entire police force. We can't do that. We can't afford to do that. During the NSAS, when they did not go to work for 1 week, different criminal groups started springing up. The 1 million boys came out.
Yes.
It was chaos.
They will attack you, take your soup, take everything you have, carry Gary, drink Gary in your presence, and all those kind of things. So it is not a wise thing to just condemn them. This thing that the IGP is doing, was saying it's wrong for you to treat a citizen like that. But that is not to say that they should be condemned to the ground. They are not doing anything and all that. No, I think.
But Baba, do you think at in some quarters we should blame President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because all of the things that Sowore is going through now with the police stemmed from the fact that Ebetoko was asked to continue, which Sowore didn't see that too good. So, do you think the failure of those in government might actually be the remote cause to some of these underlying issues we have?
Yeah, you know, the law was also amended. It's just because of him.
Because of him.
So you understand. And the way it passed through the House in just few days calls for worry. Not just the Tinubu, the National Assembly's hand and every other interest. You understand. If we have to blame people, it's still the police we will blame, because the way they are treating him is not the way they are supposed to treat him. No matter the provocation. If somebody is criticizing the police force, the answer is not to arrest him, break his hand, take him to undisclosed. That's not the answer. That's violence. That's taking the laws into your hand. Take him, charge him before a court. Let the court be the one to, deliver a judgment and punish accordingly if he's found guilty of any offense. That is it. So, in the whole, as much as we should not condemn the police in its totality, in this case, in what is going on now, they are still to be blamed, not the president. Because they ought to know how to handle cases like this.
All right, so I think we'll just have to leave it at this point, and just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the Nigerian police force, according to the budget of 2025, they've been given the sum of 1.31 trillion naira, and a simple breakdown to that particular money goes as follows. Approved budget, of course, is 1.2 trillion. Personal cost, 1.2 billion. Capital project, that is maintenance, overhaul of police stations and health facilities of the Nigerian police force, including the barracks, the moribund barracks that we have, 98.6 billion naira. And the list goes on and on and on. So the question is, how effective are they able to utilize this money? So when we say there are no money given to them, 1.3 trillion to the Nigerian police force.
Yeah, money is given to them, but you don't solve problem by throwing money to it. You solve a problem by throwing money, and you come up with a monitoring team that will monitor what we call, in project management, we call it, there's a name that is called, I can't remember the name now, you know, quality control, a quality control assurance on the project. Someone who will go and look at what they are doing in the barracks, whether they are buying the right paint or they are just using something, white chalk, to paint the place. Whether they are really renovating the barracks, whether the toilet seat, those dirty toilet seats that is in police barracks, you cannot use it. Whether they are changing them or they are washing it. You have to check all those details. The plumbing work, who is doing it? Are they buying the right materials? You understand? Who is the contract awarded to? What is the quality control attached to that? Are they buying the best of materials that will stand the test of time? Or they are buying inferior materials? Who is embezzling that money? They must probe them, audit them. I don't even think the money should be given to police directly. Police can hardly account for money. I'm just telling you. They can hardly account for money. So I think that money should go to an institution. Maybe a private, a public-private institution that will deploy it. That will deploy, that the police have gone, whether they will allow them to deploy it. That will deploy it. Because to give police the money for them to go and take care of themselves, that money will not go down.
Because who would they account to? Who would even probe them?
Who would they account to?
We're talking about money, yeah.
So
big amount
it
of
takes
money.
a lot about leadership to have the right leaders in the police force to change this thing. But when you go to some police stations, you'll be very proud. If you have gone to the force headquarters before, you'll be very proud of Nigerian police. Why can't they replicate it in all police stations? You go to the force headquarters, you see the officers there, you see how they are dressed.
In Abuja?
Yes. You will not even know it's a police station. You see AC working very well. You see computers. Have you ever seen a computer in a police station? In a police station. There's nothing like that. It's just one counter, one dirty counter they open like this and use chalk to write duties on somewhere. But the force headquarters, you see the officers there. You see, none of them is below 6 feet tall. Neat, well dressed. Every office you see CCTV camera everywhere. Doors opening automatically. In a police station in Nigeria. That's the force headquarters. Why can't they replicate it? Even in the same Abuja, once you leave the force headquarters, you move from area 10, you move down to the other police station in you see they are as dirty as the ones in the same Abuja.
Oh, wow.
So why can't we use the force headquarters as a model for all our police stations in the country? You understand? I was told there were about 16,000. I can't remember. I don't think whether it's still the figure across the country. Why can't we put it together?
And we have everything to make that work. And just to let us know that other countries in Africa, let's take example, Egypt, for example, a new recruit in the police force in Egypt earns between, that is when you convert it to Naira, earns between 350,000 to 500,000 Naira every month. And why wouldn't they perform better and equally respect rights and the rule of law in their country? We hope we'll get there. Thank you so very much, Barrister.
Very well.
Thank you, Barrister.
All right, people, that's just about the time we have. We'd love to say thank you to you. Please do well to visit us. You can always find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike.
And I am Kendi Boduru.
On behalf of the entire team of Enterprise Television, thank you so very much once more, and we see you soon. Bye-bye from us.
Bye.
Cheers.